Let's dive into some rumors now around the Dallas Cowboys. We have 12 of them for you guys on today's show. Quite a few to get to. So we start with whether or not La'el Collins is going to kick inside the guard. We are downgrading this star number from 3 to 2. I thought Fleming was going to get a lot more money from the Cowboys, maybe even doubling that, put him around that starting right tackle position. Instead, at only $2 million plus incentives, that means Fleming could only be the swing tackle. Now, the Cowboys have discussed moving Collins to left guard. That's the main update on this one here for you, but I don't think it's that likely right now. I think if you're the Cowboys, you have to put Collins at one spot. Quit moving him back and forth from left guard to right tackle, having him change his footwork and everything. Pick a position and have him stick there after this offseason. I think the Cowboys in particular could still look for an offensive guard early. If that happens, Collins is definitely going to stay at right tackle. If there are no more moves, then maybe this gets bumped up to 3 stars because I don't think the Cowboys want to start Looney or Marcus Martin at all at left guard. So for those of you wondering what that star means, we'll explain it here with our rumor-o-meter. 0 stars, it's the number of fights OBJ won against the net. It's 0. Do not believe it. 1 star means there's a small shred of truth here. It's not quite probable to happen, but there's some evidence that it could happen, but don't take it as very likely. 2 stars means people are talking. It's firmly in that rumor category. 3 stars means it's pretty likely, not quite a done deal, but it should come true. Just waiting on some paperwork to be finalized, more or less. And 4 stars, hey, Dez caught it. The NFL owners voted 32-0 that he did catch that ball. A little too late, but it's a fact. Speaking of Dez and catching balls, number 2 on our rumor-o-meter here. Is Allen Hurns not replacing Dez Bryant? Well, 4 stars on this one. I hope this is the last time we have to discuss this rumor on the show. I don't know why I keep seeing articles suggesting otherwise, that, the Cowboys have to cut Dez Bryant now because he's not going to take kindly to the Cowboys getting him help at wide receiver, or, the Cowboys have too many bodies now at wide receiver. Let's cut the best one by far. Doesn't make any sense. Allen Hurns is here to battle and likely win the number 2 spot over Terrence Williams. Now the situation with Dez could change if the Cowboys try to draft a wide receiver, likely in the first round, but I don't consider that all that likely at this point. And we'll discuss who the Cowboys could cut here in just a second as well with this reaction poll that we have for you guys. Which receiver should the Cowboys dump? A heart for Dez, and I will not like you if you do it, although I will forgive you. A like for Cole Beasley. A laughing face for T. Will, which is tough because now he has a broken foot. No one's going to want to trade for him, and he's not cuttable. Or a wow face for someone else. If I'm Cole Beasley, I am a little bit concerned about my roster status because you're going to keep Dez, Hurns. You're probably going to have to keep T. Will. They're not going to cut Ryan Switzer. If that's the case, Cole Beasley kind of becomes the odd man out. So keep an eye out for Beasley as a potential trade target as well for teams in the market for a slot receiver. Next up, could Dez still take a pay cut? People continue to talk on this one, namely Stephen Jones continues to kind of play the bad cop in the Jerry Jones playing good cop and Jason Garrett playing the clapping cop, because Jason Garrett said today as well that he loves Dez and the Cowboys love Dez, and he's just being the clapping cheerleader for the Cowboys. But Jones said the Cowboys would talk to Dez at the right time, but that time apparently hasn't come yet, and I don't really know what the Cowboys are waiting for because there's really not a whole lot to discuss at this point if you're Dallas. He's going to say no to a pay cut because they're not going to cut him because they made their moves at receiver and they'd get worse. Maybe he tries to be nice, but I don't think you're going to see Dez take a pay cut, but it is a rumor that we'll just continue to discuss until the Cowboys or Dez come out and say, hey, no pay cut here. 3 down, let's get then to number 4. Player some of you guys love in the comments section is Brice Butler going to a new team. Now 4 stars on this one. Butler's going to have a new team this offseason. That was clear before free agency started, but we have some updates for you on Brice Butler. He is now taking visits. He's meeting with the Bears, the Seahawks, the Jags, and the Arizona Cardinals over the next 2 weeks. And for those of you wondering, the Cowboys, they should keep Brice Butler. He's better than their other guys. Maybe he outplayed T. Will at times, but I think it's telling the market overall for Brice Butler. When he is only just now taking meetings with teams that have actually already signed wide receivers, minus Arizona, that they don't really count, but Deontay Thompson has already signed. Look, Brice Butler is not well regarded by the NFL, and his stats back that up. I know he hasn't had a ton of opportunities, but he did drop a higher percentage of his passes than Dez Bryant did. So we hate on Dez for the drops. Butler was even worse in that regard, but I look forward to your comments on this one. So get them in the comment section. I'll respond to some of them as well throughout the show. Next up, Could Dallas not add a free agent wide receiver? Well, we'll break this one down after a word from our sponsor, The Guild. All right, boys and girls, for those of you that also wanted Kenny Vaccaro, well, go ahead and pour one out here. This does seem pretty likely that Dallas will not add a free agent wide receiver. 3 stars on this one. Stephen Jones more or less said today, we don't think the safeties, or this week I should say, said we don't think the safeties are fits. They are looking for a center fielder type, Earl Thomas, not a box safety guy. That means no Eric Reed, who I guess can play some free safety, but he's more of a box guy in terms of his best fit. Also really means no Kenny Vaccaro either. So I wanted Vaccaro, but don't get your hopes up there. Hey, maybe Dallas makes a ploy to go up and get a safety like Derwin James in the NFL draft, like I mocked in my most recent NFL draft. Keep it rolling now with some more NFL or Cowboys rumors here. We'll start with NFL free agency now. Are the Cowboys done making moves here? And this one also seems pretty likely. 3 stars on this one. The Cowboys have used most of their cap space. They can free up more, but I don't think they're going to right now. And the Cowboys, in all likelihood, are done making moves. If they're not going to go get another safety, well, then who would they add in free agency? They're not going to get a wide receiver. I don't think they're going to go get another linebacker. They're haven't shown any interest really in Jonathan Hankins. So I think the Cowboys are done making moves here. It was, I think, a relatively successful free agency. I know it lacked the star power and the splash move that a lot of you guys wanted, but the Cowboys, with the players that they did sign, minus Deontay Thompson, still don't like that move, still don't really get it either. I think it's a solid, I'll give it a C+, a B-, somewhere in that like or laughing face range. It's not a sexy, splashy move. It's not the Cowboys have one free agency. They didn't get all that better because they lost guys like Anthony Hitchens, but with the roster space the Cowboys had, the money the Cowboys had, this was a relatively solid move, free agency in terms of moves. And getting guys like Allen Hurns and Cam Fleming on the cheap, that's really good moves on that end for the Dallas Cowboys. Keep it rolling now with some more rumors around the Cowboys. We're halfway done. Speaking of Allen Hurns, did he take less money to join the Dallas Cowboys? Well, 4 stars on this one as well. Hurns confirmed it. He said, yeah, I took less money, so we'll take him at his word here, though I feel like a lot of players say, oh, yeah, I took less money to join this team. I don't know if that's always the case. The Ravens, Jets, and Browns were also in the mix. Jets and Browns, of course, had a lot of cap space to play with. Hurns, though, felt his best opportunity was in Dallas, and particularly he cited quarterback situation. He said the Jets, well, I don't think he wanted to play for Josh McCown or whatever first-round pick the Jets get there. The Ravens had added guys like Crabtree and John Brown already. And the Browns, I don't think he really wanted to go to Tyrod Taylor or have a rookie quarterback. So he took the Cowboys with the mindset that, yeah, I'm going to play well, produce, and then cash in. And once his free agent contract is up, so remember, he signed a 2-year deal with the Dallas Cowboys. Keep it rolling now. Speaking of quarterbacks here, Dak Prescott. Is he the Cowboys franchise quarterback? I still think this one is 3 stars. Tim Cowlishaw had a column where he said, Cowboys got to, face this question of whether or not Dak is actually good enough. How good is Dak Prescott actually? Look, we know that Prescott regressed in 2017, particularly after Tyron Smith was hurt because, well, what quarterback's going to have success when you got Chaz Green and Byron Bell blocking for your blind side? I believe that Dallas views Prescott as the future, but it is a fair question to discuss. Do you still have faith in Dak Prescott being your franchise guy? Because he wasn't as good in year 2. We've seen other quarterbacks have a great first year and then kind of fall apart after that. So I want to know from you guys, do you think Dak is the franchise QB for the Cowboys? I think he is, but I do think it's a question that we should have a nuanced discussion about. If there's reason to have some doubts, but I still have faith in Prescott as well. Today's show is brought to you by The Guild. Visit stayguild.com for 15% off your stay. Think of it as kind of like a luxury Airbnb. Number 9 rumor today. Johnny Manziel and the Cowboys will stick with the quarterback theme there. Does it make sense for the Cowboys to go after Manziel? We'll give this one 1 star because, well, that 1 star is reserved for Jerry Jones because we know how Jerry loves a redemption story, and we know how Jerry really, really wanted Johnny Manziel. Thank God Stephen Jones made sure the Cowboys took Zach Martin. That worked out perfectly for the Cowboys. Manziel threw today at the Texas A&M Pro Day. I think it's safe to assume the Cowboys had some scouts there. They didn't have the coaching staff there because, well, they're off at the NFL owner meetings. And of course, we'll mention where the Cowboys are going next here with their coaching staff in just a second. But so stay tuned for that one. They are going to a different college. I get the interest in Manziel. I've got no interest whatsoever. I am not a big Cooper Rush fan. I've made that clear on the show. I would rather have Cooper Rush as my backup than Johnny Manziel. I'm glad he has his life back on track, but I've got no interest in adding Manziel. I think that is going to be a distraction at quarterback. Keep it rolling now. 3 more left. We'll turn our attention now to the NFL draft. Is Dallas targeting some Alabama players? We'll give this one 2 stars because this actually makes some sense. Maybe it's almost 3 stars. It's kind of in that 2 to 3 star range. Well, we went with 2 because the Cowboys are having workouts this week for the Cowboys, or for Alabama. The Cowboys and coaching staff led by Jason Garrett is going to be there. They're putting Alabama players through a workout on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. The Cowboys, it's worth noting, did the exact same thing with Ohio State in 2016, and they ended up taking one Ezekiel Elliott. So maybe the Cowboys looking at a guy like Rashaan Evans, maybe a Calvin Ridley, maybe a Minkah Fitzpatrick if he happens to fall outside the top 10 if Dallas wants to go trade up. Maybe it's someone like Ronnie Harrison, and if they trade down or maybe trade up in round 2. So 2 stars on that one. Keep an eye out for Dallas and the Alabama players. Some specific players now. How about the Cowboys and James Daniels? 2-star on this one. If you're wondering why the Cowboys have interest in a center from Iowa, it's because Daniels can also play guard. He is a really good athlete for an offensive lineman, one of the better ones you'll see come out in the NFL draft. Played a little bit of guard at Iowa, so he could be an option in the first or maybe second round if the Cowboys don't want Isaiah Wynn or Will Hernandez. Or maybe if they trade up in round 2 and try and get somebody else with all those picks that they have. So keep an eye on Daniels as a guard option for the Cowboys. And then one final one here for you guys. It's my favorite one. The Vita Vea dream, it still lives. 2 stars on this one. People are talking because Vita Vea has a workout and visit set up with the Dallas Cowboys. This is so great for me because I am a huge fan of Vita Vea. I was heartbroken when the Cowboys said that they did not want a 1 technique early, but they had the caveat, hey, if they have 3 technique qualities, if they can rush the pass a little bit, we'll have some interest there. So the Cowboys having a visit with Vita Vea proves that he is an option for Dallas at number 19. They're not going to totally ignore the possibility if he's on the board, even though I don't think Vita Vea will last to the Cowboys at number 19. Before we sign off, folks, get your comments in the comment section for an upcoming mailbag. Get them in there. We'll have some pinned comments as well on YouTube. Put in the YouTube comments as well, and we'll get those up on a future mailbag show. Don't know if it's going to be Thursday or Sunday, but we'll get to it in the very near future. But until then, folks, I am Tom Downey, and we'll see you next time.